Welcome to the Manager Matt podcast show. The show is designed to give you solutions to your day-to-day management and leadership problems. It's hosted by Matthew Haddock, a frontline manager and leader with over 25 years of experience. If you're ready, then let's get on with the show.
Welcome to the Manager Matt podcast show. I do hope you are well and getting the results with your team. On this week's show, I want to talk all things management, communication, leadership, and much, much more. As you know, or you may not know, my name is Matthew Haddock and I'm your host for today. And today, I'm going to dive into the idea of the power of 3, that magic number. You may have picked up the idea of the power of 3 in leadership. If not, you will after this show. Everything we do in our life is all about patterns, and this is something you will definitely pick up. So why doesn't number 3 carry so much weight? Why do leaders, the best leaders, communicate in these triads, using the power of 3 to inspire, organise and influence? So how can you use the power of 3? Well, all these things are going to come up in this week's show and much, much more, I do hope. If you haven't already, take the time to subscribe, like, share, and all the normal things. And if you can leave me a rating, that would really help. So let's have a start with the rule of the power of 3. Well, the basics, the rule of power of 3 is a powerful concept, and it goes through many, many disciplines. It's in storytelling, it's in communication, and yes, of course, it's in leaderships. From politicians using it in their speeches, all the way through to business leaders and even probably the managers that you work with, you will notice this pattern appearing. But why 3? Well, 3 is a very important number because our brains naturally process information in patterns. We're looking for patterns. That's why you sometimes see strange images in fruit. You seem to think that human faces appear, where really it's your brain looking for pattern. And 3 is the smallest number needed to form a pattern. It's simple, straightforward, and sustainable. See what I did there? Think about it. Some of the most memorable speeches, the frameworks and strategies come in 3. Americans, life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. And in business, we have people, process, and performance. When leaders use the power of 3, they make complex ideas more digestible, more actionable, and of course, more memorable. Think of it. I bet people have said to you in your business, it's all about safety, service, and profit, or something on those lines. Now, the 3 pillars of effective leadership, you need to think about the way that they are specifically put together. I believe that great leaders thrive off using those core principles. And 3 simple core principles that they'll use will be around clarity, connections, and consistency. Let's break them down for you. Clarity. Well, the best leaders have a clear vision. They know where they're going, and they need to communicate it effectively so that their teams understand the mission without that not knowing where we're going. And remember, without clarity, confusion can take over and the motivation of your team can definitely fade. So clarity is the first part of those pillars. Connections. Leadership isn't about barking orders, whatever people think. It's not the military. It's not around shouting. It's about building a trust and a relationship with people. And when you truly connect with your team on that human level, because we are humans, even managers are humans, you inspire them to give their best because your connection with the person. I've been accused sometimes of maybe being a bit too nice. Who'd have thought it? Because I always have worked with the fact that I need to have a good connection with people. And when I've connected with people, they've delivered results with me and for me. Consistency. The third part of our clarity connection is consistency. A leader who lacks consistency is unpredictable, and that breeds insecurity. Teams don't like that. The most effective leaders show up the same way every day. Their words match their actions, and they build credibility over time. How many people who do you know who are consistent in leadership get much more respect than the ones who you don't know where you are? Now, some real-world examples of how this works. Let's look at the examples of some great leaders and how they use that 3 effectively. Think of Apple and Steve Jobs. He always structured the Apple keynote speeches into 3 sections. Other ones, Winston Churchill, he would use things such as the rhythm of 3, like being blood, toil, and tears. There's all those kind of ones that come into it. Even in today's world, effective leaders have the 3 set-up strategies. They rely on their teams in business and in politics and sport to be built around that 3. Now, the 3 itself, you may already use. You may naturally have started using it. You may have started to speak in that way. You may have listened to people and just adapted that way of speaking. But when you want to go that bit further and you want to think about how you can structure it, here's some quick tips and takeaways that you can use to try to use the power of 3 in your communications as a leader. Structure communication in 3 parts, whether it's in a speech or an email or a team meeting. Frame your key points into those 3 categories. So what we're going to walk away today is we need to make sure that we are delivering to the customer, we are improving our quality, and we are keeping our people safe. They're simple 3 you can use. Use those guiding principles in decision making. Define 3 values that drive your leadership. Maybe it's integrity, innovation maybe, and impact. Use those as a filter when you make your choices around what you do. So pick some 3 good principles and guiding values that mean that when you're talking to your team, you're always going to stick to them. Think about that. And lead with those 3 key behaviours when you're in every other meeting. Decide your 3 and then stick to it. Making sure that you have a habit of, listen actively, recognise achievements and provide direction. There's another 3. You see how it can easily become natural to start delivering the 3. When you're listening now, you will automatically start to see 3s. And the power of 3 is very, very powerful in our leadership and in our world. And of course, every time you hear it from now on, you'll start to pick it up. Remember, clarity, connection, and consistency are 3 things that you as a leader can commit to and deliver. And of course, another thing you can deliver is feedback to myself. Look at the link. And you can give me my feedback at managermattpodcast@gmail.com. I read every one of them. I digest every one of them. And I reply to every one of them. You see, the power of 3 is everywhere. Now, remember this week, keep leading with a purpose, keep your eyes, and don't forget to subscribe, review, and share. Again, another 3. Well, that's it for Manager Matt this week. Thank you so much for listening, and goodbye.
Thank you so much for listening to this Manager Matt podcast. We hope you found it interesting, helpful, and actionable. One last thing, please leave a quick review on iTunes or with your podcast provider, as it helps to spread the word of Manager Matt. If you haven't already done so, please subscribe to the podcast, and if you did like anything in particular, send an email to managermattpodcast@gmail.com or visit managermatt.co.uk for more content. Feedback is a gift, so let's keep giving. See you next week.